And we're off to a blazing start, aren't we?
Welcome back to the GTD podcast. I'm your host,
Yeah.
co-host. I'm the co-host.
Yeah, that's certainly what you are. Hello, how do we start podcasts again? I don't know. Hello, and welcome back to the GTD podcast. I am the Norax. I speak for the podcast. And Devin hijacked the intro and already introduced himself. So Matthew, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Matthew.
Yes, that's right. I'm here with Matthew and Devin, who go by those names because they don't have any others. Presumably, anyways. I mean, maybe they have other names. I don't know.
We can't have every D&D character.
Do those really count as other names, though? Surely other names would be like you personally use, like an internet handle or, I don't know, secret society name thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back. As I've already stated, but I might as well state it again because you may have noticed we've been gone for a month.
Yeah.
I will quickly give you an explanation as to why. Turns out having 3 kittens drains a lot of your time. Secondly, honestly, I just haven't been feeling up to podcasting. Other than that, there's a lot of random bullshit that's been going on in my life, and I don't need to get into it. It's just happening. That is the explanation as to why we haven't recorded anything in over a month. Little over a month. More or under, I don't know. A while, you get the idea. Anyways, disregarding that, we have several things coming up in the show. We'll be discussing what we've been playing this month. Then we will hop over into the trailers section, but I'm not going to be showing any trailers. I'm just going to be talking about the games of them for a couple of reasons that I'll get into at the end of the podcast. Because on top of anyways, then we'll be moving on to host topics, which, we probably won't have any even after the month. Probably won't have a single freaking host topic because that's how it goes. Then we'll be heading into the news at the end of the show. You can tell it's been a while. I'm stutter stepping around the opening. Anyways, I will say that at the end of the show, I have a small announcement I want to make for the future of the podcast as a whole. And I guess this will just be news to my co-hosts as well, because I haven't mentioned anything about it otherwise. Oops. Oopsies. I work on the fly. I'm definitely material to do something consistent, right?
Material to do something consistent. What?
You know what I mean.
But how can you be material to do something consistent?
Shush. Nothing I say has meaning or matter unless I say it does. Which is always.
No, I think that's right. Wait. Wait, now I'm confused more.
Anyways, Matthew, what have you been playing this month?
Nothing.
Wow.
A little tiny bit of Minecraft, but even that, not really.
All right. What if... Yeah, okay. Devin.
How badly am I lagging?
You're tired and weird. What? Same thing, I assume. Right? Devin?
Did you actually hear what I said?
What did I say?
You guys are fritzing out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, well.
Devin, you should switch to Dad's tethering.
It's an unfortunate discourse when it comes to workings of the thing. I need to be better at talking. But yes.
Yeah.
Devin, what have you been playing this month, if you can hear me? He's frozen, isn't he?
He's switching colorings.
All right then. Well, he'll be back at some point. Don't leave me. I want you to return to me. And he's
Well, that went well.
all right then. We'll be right back. Never mind. He's back and he's muted.
Yes. He's back.
Anyway,
sorry, you guys were.
What have you been playing this month?
Minecraft. I built a giant rock in the middle of the ocean.
Why?
Because I wanted to build a base full of secret doors inside of it. And so I did.
I see. Well,
yeah, other than that, I'm working on some projects. I don't know. I don't know. I played Magic.
We'll talk about that then. I don't know.
So there's this, basically in Magic there are several formats, but every time that a format gets, like, every time people start really enjoying a format, the cards in that format go up in price and it gets harder and harder to play. And so
yeah.
And so I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what if there was a format that was really good for like new players called Sleeveless, and it was literally just you play cards that are bad enough and cheap enough that you can play them unsleeved and be totally relaxed. Like they don't cost more than like $1, and they probably never will.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sit down, you just play your sleeveless deck against someone else's sleeveless deck, and it's fun and silly.
I mean, well, I do like that idea, because something I think you're discovering, not that you probably didn't know this otherwise, but like something geez,
games that get competitive something
that's what I was trying to, like, when you have a competitive element, that's the word I was looking for. Geez, man, this is not a good day for words, apparently. What I was trying to say is that what you have sort of discovering is that the more competitive something is, or the more people latch on to it, the more it becomes like general. It's like, this is a competitive format.
Like standardized stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of like, you can compare it to like small communities. It's like when you have small communities, they're more tight-knit and have less goings on. Like that's like the good and bad thing about popular things becoming, or like niche things becoming popular. It's like more people are knowing about these things because like everybody likes to talk about what they love, and want to share that. You want to share what you enjoy with other people and get them into it. But when you continue. Go for it.
I was gonna say, like with Avatar: The Last Airbender, how it was. I mean, it was a well-known show. It was pretty well seen because it was on Nickelodeon. It was like a big show. But there are so many people that hadn't watched it. Like just as of 2017, tons of people. I
mean, it's over 10 years old.
I know, but then it went on Netflix, and then tons of people watched it, and so it's like back in the culture again.
Well, yeah, because first of all, it's over 10 years old, so literally people were born within that time span that have never even known about it. I mean,
that's weird to think.
I mean, yeah, because like considering like think about Harry Potter, for instance. Like there are people that are born within the last 20 years that probably don't even know what Harry Potter is.
Yeah, they probably, maybe. Yeah, actually.
It was a very big cultural thing, but it like,
I mean, there are people who lived during it that didn't really know what Harry Potter was, because they weren't in the book space. There's so many people that just don't read books.
Yeah, that's true. But like going back to like your Avatar thing, where it's like, so we're 10 years old, so people have been born within the time span that haven't watched it. And also it was on Nickelodeon, but Nickelodeon kind of sucks at doing their job.
Yeah.
In regards to, they weren't as bad during the Avatar years, but they were still pretty bad because the fourth season of Avatar was turned into a comic book, even though it was supposed to have a fourth season. Pretty sure I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a fourth, like proper animated fourth season, but it just got turned into the comic strip, the comic books, to explain the last bits of story in the series. You know, like finding Zuko's mom. You know, that massive teaser at the end of the series, where is my mother? And then you never hear from it again because nobody read the comic books.
And then you Google search the Wikipedia article, and then you go, huh, that's funny that happened.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? So, yeah,
wow, that was great ending on that article that I just read.
Yeah. So it's this. Anyways, the reason for that being is that Nickelodeon has sort of, I mean, it happens with a lot of different eras of TV and media in general, where it's like when you have an incredibly popular thing that is long running, TV studios tend to like set the bar at that level. It's like, if it isn't as successful as the series that has been running for 20 years immediately, then it has no value to us. Which is the biggest reason why Legend of Korra was so bastardized and weird, because literally, like, the first 2 seasons of Legend of Korra had like big climactic endings because they didn't know if they were going to get another season. Like Korra getting her powers back with, you know, after seeing Aang and the whatever. I don't know, that ending was weird, but like, you know, Korra
Legend of Korra was weird.
back, and then Korra uniting the spirit world with the you know, regular world. Both of those are very huge climactic endings that have a lot of like stuff writing on them that happened in the season, but it just kind of wraps things up for that, because they didn't know if they were going to get another season, because the Nickelodeon executives really did not care about that show when it was airing. They didn't even air the last like couple episodes or season. They just dumped it online somewhere. So yeah. Anyways, getting back to the thing we were talking about before, and me not going on a rant about Nickelodeon, is that
kids, this is why you don't buy a TV.
Don't buy TV, kids. It poisons your brain and melts your face. Or at least
buy Doom.
That's what they thought. I mean, they thought TVs would melt your brain. It was like a warning you get from you know, parents of the 1950s and 60s. It's like, it'll melt your brains. It's dangerous. Because, you know, it's new technology and they don't really know what it does. Anyways.
Yeah.
Going back to my thing you were talking about magic and like the people coming into it, like the more people that come into a community or a latch onto something, the more like general it's going to become, I suppose. Yeah. The word, like, I'm not sure if that's the exact word. What?
Oh, 5e D&D versus.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, like D&D 5e like was, when it came out. I want to preface this. I do enjoy 5e, but as a veteran of it at this point, I do struggle with its restrictions sometimes. Because that is the thing, right? It's this weird
mass appeal.
Yeah, like it's supposed to be mass appeal, which, you know, it was. It simplified a lot of things, but because of the simplification, it took out a lot of the like meat of the system in order to do that. So you get weird rules sometimes that are not very in depth, like the fact that a cart's carrying capacity is dependent on how many animals is pulling it. So, you know, you could have like the biggest cart, which I think is a carriage or something, being pulled by like 4 elephants, and you could carry like, I think it was like upwards of like it was like upwards of like 10,000 pounds or something of like material. I did this all, by the way, I know this because I did stupid math, because I was wondering how many bolts or arrows you could physically carry with you. And I was like, well, I could just get a cart and fill it with bags of arrows. And because of the ruling, it just means I need to get a bunch of really heavy animals to pull it. And it's like, there you go. So yes.
And then the DM describes one of the wheels of a cart breaking, and the cart tilts over and the arrows just fall everywhere.
Well, yeah, because that's what would actually happen. Not by the rules as written, though.
Yeah. No, that's
Tell
fair.
that to your fucking...
And the player would be rightfully upset at the DM for doing that.
I mean, yes and no, because obviously no DM in their right mind would allow that to happen. But as the rules are written, that is just what the case is. But I'm sort of spiraling off into a tangent. But I want to get this out of the way really quickly, because it's something that I've been thinking about recently. It is there is this group of individuals within the 5e community that just kind of exist in this weird, how do I put this? Basically, like, they're okay. You hear that? The cats are attacking each other. Well, they're playing with each other. They're not attacking each other. You know, they're wrestling. But basically, they're okay with the lackluster, like the lackluster meatiness of the system, because it because they can just do whatever they want anyways. And it's this weird, like, I understand that mindset, and it's the same mindset that Matthew has, where because he wants to do something, he'll just rewrite the entire goddamn system to make it work for him. But I don't feel like that should be
necessary. It's just an easy starting point.
Well, no, because I understand that, but there are people that don't want to just rewrite a system in order to make it work for what they're doing. It's like, that's why generic RPGs exist, or RPGs that all their tabletop systems exist.
Totally. It's
this strange, I'm not saying like you're one of these people I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, it's this mindset that has like sort of came up in 5e, especially because 5e doesn't give you anything to work with in the first place. So you have to create things. Like, it doesn't, there's not a lot of like hard rules that you can jump off from.
Yeah.
You have to create a lot if you want to like make something, or, you know, do something with the system than what it was designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, not being okay with that is perfectly fine opinion and thought to have, because not everybody wants to put in that much effort just to run something. You know, I wouldn't run a cyberpunk game in D&D because it wasn't built for that. D&D is,
I tried that one.
Primarily built for D&D is primarily on a second. Primarily built for fantasy dungeon delving. You can do more with it, but it's not built for that. You really have to, have to just finagle the system yourself if you want to go forward with that. And 5e has been very explicit about this. they don't give you a lot of rulings in like, you know, in each book that they've released, every new supplement. It's like they don't give you a lot with every new book. Now, I will say I have not bought Tasha's Hideous Cauldron, or so I don't own Tasha's Hideous Cauldron or Eberron, which are the other two supplemental books, but I don't have those. But they, as far as I'm aware, Tasha's Hideous Cauldron is not very like heavy on what it contains anyways, from what I've read. And Eberron is like a setting that most people buy because they want a Warforge. Like, you know, I like the setting of Eberron, but you know, most people buy it just because they want a Warforged in their campaign. So, like, if you wanted to just to like go back to my example, like you have these new subclasses and stuff. But if you wanted a new class or a new subclass, you'd have to put in a lot of effort and work because it doesn't give you rulings. It doesn't give you rulings for creating these. So you just have to what?
Wait, no, it gives ruling.
Okay. In the DMG, there are a few small what's the term? Paragraphs that give you a small idea of how to do things, but it's not like a large rule set. Anyways, I'm going too far into the D&D tangent. So let's pull it.
Oh, it's modifying class, I see.
Let's pull it back a little bit. So yeah, basically that's just something I've been thinking about recently in regards to D&D and how it's, you know, the 5e system was just kind of built to be limiting like it is because they want it to be simple, but because of its simplicity, you can't really make it work for a lot of things. That's just my basic general idea of 5e at the moment. Still like the system, I just think it's a little limiting at times, especially the magic system. Oh boy, is that magic system limiting. Pick from these options. Okay, then. I'll just...
No, yeah, its magic system is incredibly limiting.
Yeah, it's real bad. Anyways, getting back to Devin's thing that he was talking about, magic and communities becoming more competitive over time, and your thing that you were talking about, your, what did you call it? Sleeveless play?
Yeah, I mean, basically just the idea that you have a very specific, like because it's like casual magic can mean anything, but sleeveless means specifically you're playing cards that are weak enough that you're cool with them getting damaged.
Yeah, I get you.
And I think it has a connotation that everyone can understand.
There should be a competitive, not a, like, it wouldn't be competitive, like actual competitive, but there should be a system that's just called dime store play, where, and like, because you can get cards for like dime store. It's in like, there used to be dime stores where it's like, you know, you can buy anything for a dime, or like, what is that, 5 cents, 10 cents?
Yeah,
is a dime a 10 or a 5
cents?
I haven't thought about dimes in a while. Okay,
dime is
dimes are 10 cents.
No, dime is, yeah, dime is a 10. Oh my gosh.
Dimes are the tiny ones that are 10 cents. Anyways, you can get magic cards, you can get bulk magic cards for like a couple cents, right? You know more about this, me, Mr. Buys cards off the internet.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you're playing Minecraft, but can you answer my question?
What? Yes, you can get magic cards for a dime.
I'm just at like, so like you get, so it's like you have a set essentially. So a set consists of like magic cards that cost a dime and lower. So you only play with cards you could get for a dime. Or at least, like, I called it dime store. Making it dime is a little limiting, but the idea is like low cost. So like maybe $1 is your limit. So it's like anything.
Yeah, I was thinking about $1.
So like $1 is your limit. So you buy cards that are between a cent and $1. And you could call it like dime store play. Wouldn't
Yeah.
Because like dime store is just a general term for stores that sort of used to exist, like the term like dime store novel, where it's like you get a novel that is like stupidly cheap and they're always terrible. They are, though. They're stupid, terrible romance, like the ones I'm talking about, where like the cover is like a chiseled man with a woman, and they're like terrible romance stories. Those are dime store novels.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, so getting back to, do you have anything else to talk about regarding your ideas, or just something you think should exist?
No, it's just something I think is cool.
Yeah, it would. I don't know. You know more about the Magic community than I do. I fell off the map in the Magic community for a while, so
it's just one of those things where I like the idea of budget Magic, but it's not like it's like I want this to be an official format. It's that's the format that I want to play, is just sleeveless decks and then sleeve decks, and that's the distinction I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Decks that are highly tuned and powerful versus decks that are
I get you. I mean, it would definitely be more casual, because I definitely. Okay, this will be my last random tangent about Magic, but like, Magic has always annoyed me slightly because of the inherent randomness of the game. Of the idea that you draw cards from a deck and you randomly get cards. And I get that's kind of intrinsic to the game because it's a card building game. You build something, you draw. But it's always annoyed me because it essentially puts you at the behest of random chance sometimes. And I know there are decks that can, play against random chance, like mill decks, or decks that, have a bunch of search cards, or, just decks that can work without drawing very many cards in general. But
or decks that draw a lot of cards.
Yeah, that as well. So I know those exist, but the inherent randomness is always going to be set against you when you make a deck. And it has most certainly screwed me out of quite a few games. In fact, the most recent game I have played of Magic screwed over Devin so hard due to random chance that I won. I won due to the toss of a freaking dice.
Which game was? Oh, right. Yes. Well, to be fair, you won because you had an army.
Yeah, but I won because of the dice toss mostly. I had an army, but I would have very easily been overwhelmed. A lot of my good stuff started dying early on, or late in that game. So I very easily could have lost because I did not have a lot of health. My lifelink was gone. I was not regaining health. Just a lot of things were not good for me. And then I won because I rolled a die and got success. And just to point out, we were playing Planeswalk, so it was one of the card's abilities. It was one of the Planeswalk card abilities, not a card that I had that told me to roll a die and see if I won, which I know exist, which are also stupid, but they're stupid in a fun way. Anyways, what was the point I was trying to make? Basically, I dislike Magic because of the randomness, and also the idea that in a competitive sense, you're sort of forced to create something that could crush somebody very easily. You know what I mean? because of the inherent randomness of the game, you're forced to create something
I built
that easily crush an opponent. You know, what were you gonna say?
Yeah.
I
built a deck that I was impressed. It came out very powerful. It just creates tokens and then buffs the tokens, and it wins on like turn 5 every time.
Yeah,
because it has so many creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do against stuff like that. Because, the game is what? How old is Magic the Gathering? It started in the 70s, right?
Ancient.
It's pretty old. I don't know math because math is for nerds. And I'm not one of those.
It's about 25 years old. It's about 27 years old.
All right.
Right now, it's about 27 years old.
How do you figure that?
It had its 25th anniversary recently.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 or 3 years.
I thought it's
So I might be off by a year.
Whatever. All right then.
Or I might be wrong completely.
Anyways, this. I guess we're just going to go off on tangents today.
Yeah, we can. Well.
Anyways, but yeah, I just general thoughts about Magic and D&D 5e. Apparently, Matthew, you got anything else before we move on? All right then. In that case, we'll move on to trailers. Like I said before, not showing any of these, mostly because they're all from the Nintendo Direct and they have talking over them and it's annoying. Anyways, so we'll just get right into things.
Yeah.
If I can, there we go. Well, I might show one trailer. So first up on the docket, by the way, this Nintendo Direct came out like a day ago, like 2 days ago. It was streamed like a day or two ago. So this is very recent news that I'm talking about. First of all, the game I want to talk about is we got another trailer for Project Triangle Strategy, which just first off is coming 2022. I'm pretty sure they gave us I think it's coming summer 2022. And for those of you who've not seen this game, which I did talk about before during the E3, we did see this game during E3. So we're seeing another trailer for it. So Project Triangle Strategy is if you guys want to just look up images and stuff of it, it's a it's a 3D with sprites game similar to Octopath Traveler. And it's a turn-based, a real-time or turn-based strategy game set in like a medieval-esque fantasy setting. And the whole story and gimmick of it is that there are like 3 nations that are all, there are 3 major nations that are all different like sides of what is the term? Like not morality. It's like, what's the term? It's not morality. It's the thing. What is it called? Why can I not remember the word I am thinking of? Sorry, this is massively boring. This is what I'm talking about. Because that's right. They're like, what is the word fuck the word I'm thinking of. Basically, they each represent a different idea: utility and morality and liberty. So they each represent like those things, and and it's a triangle strategy because it's, a triangle of belief, I guess. I don't know what word I'm trying to figure out. So that's kind of like the general idea behind ideas and stories in the game. And it looks freaking fantastic. Like it looks really, really good. I love the style of like these 3D, like 2.5D game type feel with like sprites as the characters. I just love the feel of it. It looks super good. But yeah, that's coming summer or late spring 2022. Apparently March it's available next year. But it looks really good. The dev team have been doing a good job at listening to the people who play the game, because there's a survey in the demo and they actually listened to the survey. So they have updated the game accordingly to some features that people wanted, or some features that people thought were needed. So, the dev team's doing a stand-up job in that regard. It just looks real good. Anyways, outside of that fact. Anyways, you probably don't have...
Neat.
What?
Yeah, it looks neat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you probably don't have anything to say about it because it's a video game. And apparently video games are hard for you to talk about on this.
Yeah.
Yes. This one actually might interest you two more, though. So next up we have, okay, by the way, there are more games listed in the Nintendo Direct. I'm just covering all the ones that I thought were interesting and worth talking about. I'm aware that Bayonetta 3 was confirmed. There's nothing to talk about with it for me because I haven't played any of the Bayonetta games and neither of them know anything about it. So I'm just going to state that now. So next up, we have Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars. This is a super cool looking game where everything is represented by cards. So like the environments you travel on, the characters, the monsters, the fighting, all of it is represented by cards. So it's this super cool, like virtual tabletop-esque, like fantasy role-playing game where everything is cards. And like you can see some of the battling mechanics where it's like you have your cards and they have like health and defense and stuff, and you roll a die to do some stuff with it as well. Yeah, like you roll dice for like attacks and stuff. It just looks super cool. So like everything in the game is represented by cards. And also, just as a side note, one of the directors, I believe it was. Is he a director? Whoops. Where was this said? One of the people working on the game is, if I can find his name, which I apparently can't because I'm terrible. There it is. Yoko Taro, he is a creative director, and Yoko Taro is the director of the Nier games, if you've heard of those, which are these crazy JRPGs. Anyways, anything to say on this before I just keep rambling to myself? It'll also release October 8th this year.
Oh, not really.
Okay. Have you?
I was looking at the trailer for the Voice of the Cards thing. It looks neat and actually interesting.
The game is called Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars.
Well, I don't have much to say on it. I do think it looks interesting.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know. It's tabletop it's like vaguely tabletop based. I thought you had more stuff to say about it. Whatever.
No.
I guess that's more like news. Okay, both of those are more like news. Okay. Was this? I need to check something really quickly. Does this have? Oh, so this is like a proper trailer. Okay, I guess I'll show this one. Wait, does this have talking in it? Sorry, guys, hold on a second. No, I guess not. That's okay. That's fine. All right, so this is the one trailer that I'll show because it doesn't have talking in it, and I'm only going to show like a bit of it anyways. So hold on, let me make sure this is all correct. Melanie, Vance, portion of screen. You can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the trailer for this is the trailer for a Kirby game, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Reveal trailer. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's coming spring next year, 2022.
It looks very cute.
Yeah, it does. It's a Kirby game. It looks super duper cute. And also, side note, I know neither of you would know this, but this is a very unique Kirby game because it is properly fully 3D. Every Kirby game has always been a side scroller of some kind. This is the first proper 3D running around in more than 2 dimensions Kirby game.
Well,
Which
then, I hope it's
is
good.
I mean, it looks super cool. So obviously it has copy abilities, which is a staple of the Kirby games, and now in 3D. So I guess I'm not sure how that'll work too much. It looks like it works okay. I guess we'll see though. Also, I don't know what they're going for specifically, but Kirby appears to be exploring. I mean, it's called the Forgotten Land. He's exploring weird ancient ruins of an old civilization, which appears to be a modern day city by our standards. So I have no idea what they're doing with that. Kirby stories have always been very strange in general, and this isn't the first time something akin to Earth has been in a Kirby game. In Kirby 64, there was one of the worlds you go to looks literally just like a frozen over post-apocalyptic version of Earth. So it's like a snowy world, but the icon for it looks very much like the Earth. You can see like the outline of the United States, and there's like the one giant moon is very akin to Earth. So this is not the first time Earth has been hinted at to be in the Kirby universe of some kind. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're doing with
Did
this.
Kirby destroy the planet?
No. Maybe one of the many elder gods that exist within the Kirby universe did, though.
What?
Yeah, Kirby lore is stupid. Also ridiculous.
Sounds like it.
Like it's really weird how the Kirby franchise has continually been cutesy character doing cutesy thing, ending up with you fighting like an ancient elder god with epic fucking rock music in the background. It's not a joke. Like,
Wow.
just to give an example, Kirby Return to Dreamland was a game about Kirby helping some guy called Magalore find the pieces of ship and just generally help him out with something he needed. But then he turned out to be the main villain because he betrays you near the end and steals the Master Crown, which is a crown of ultimate power. So he uses it and is like, I've been manipulating you the entire time. I'm going to go destroy Popstar now, which is the main Kirby planet. So you literally have a guy that's basically like, I'm going to dominate the entire universe now, and unless you stop me. At the end of a Kirby game, the pink puffball.
Yeah, sounds normal to me. Someone who knows very little about Kirby.
Yeah, definitely very.
And by very little, I mean almost nothing.
Kirby's really fun. Anyways, that's like the least crazy thing that happens in the Kirby universe. There's so much random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but yeah, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands looks very interesting. I'm excited to have a go with it once it comes out. I mean, I'm excited for all of the games I've talked about. Definitely going to have to give Voice of Cards a go because that looks really fun. Anyways, that is technically. I'm just going to say that's the end of trailers because that's all of the trailers I have that constitute trailers instead of news. Because there was news during the Nintendo Direct that they gave trailers to, but I don't need to show those or talk about those in the trailer section. You understand what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's trailers. Going on to host topics now before I die on the inside from stupidity. So, just say you don't have one and let's move on.
I mowed the lawn today.
And how was mowing the lawn? Please tell us.
I walked into a tree.
How do you walk into a tree while mowing the lawn?
Oh, well, okay, let me rephrase this. So this is me, and this is the tree, and this is the tree's branches, and this is my head.
I see.
This is the lawnmower, and the tree happens to have branches that splay out just enough that in order to mow everywhere that I need to mow, I need to walk into the tree.
Oh, so you didn't. So you walked. You didn't walk into a tree. You walked into a tree.
Yes.
Very different.
Yes, and bumped my head.
All right then. Good topic.
Has nothing to do with video games. Although I do actually have I learned about No Man's Sky. I learned about the history of No Man's Sky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's actually really neat, really wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm quite serious.
No, I did.
Yeah, the actual history where an indie development company was very ambitious and then got overblown and super hyped and didn't have enough time to actually develop what they were trying to develop because they were also
also Sony bought the rights to it to be an exclusive to the PlayStation at first, when it at first launch. So that hampered them as well. Also,
And then they've apparently updated to have everything that they want, and most of the stuff that people wanted and more.
Honestly, maybe No Man's Sky is a good game now. I don't care enough about it to go back to it. Like, I just,
Oh, that's fair.
It also just, yeah. Some of the stuff they add to it just feels conflicting with what they were going for. Anyways. But also, like, some of the reasons people were kind of upset with the development studio is because the head developer / I think just head of the company in general, I'm not going to say he necessarily lied. Maybe he was telling the truth and they just couldn't put it in the game. But he did say multiplayer and certain things were in the game at base launch that were not in the game at base launch. And people tested this and proved that it was not the case. So maybe it was a plan. Maybe it was just one of those things where he said that was the case, but they didn't have time to put it in.
Here's the thing. I've looked into it. What he said was, he said a year before the game was supposed to be launched, he said multiplayer is on the board for things like it's on the list of things that we're going to be adding to the game. And they said, awesome, so you're adding multiplayer to the game.
Well, there was a interview with him where he said that where he did say multiplayer was in the game, but he stated it would be very, very rare for you to run into a player. This was confirmed not to be the truth, because there was a player, two players found the exact same planet with the exact same coordinates. We could not see each other or find each other.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to call him a dirty, filthy liar, but I will be very confused at the very least.
Well, I think what happened, if you look into development, they had about 2 weeks to actually program the rest of the game. And you can't do that.
Well,
they didn't have Aaron, do you know how many people were working on it?
Not enough.
5.
Yeah, because it was a small development studio that previously made games for the goddamn iPhone.
Anyway, I think the issue with No Man's Sky is that they made it $60 when they.
That's definitely a major issue. People were complaining about that even before the bad rap for the game happened, and that's mostly because. And this is something I still disagree, and this is something I still disagree with in regards to the public opinion of the $60, but for No Man's Sky. This is something I still. Phone. Oh my goodness, why now? I cannot answer you. Go away. Hold on a second.
You can pause.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was a thing I had to take care of really quickly. Anyways, where was I? I know that was like 5 seconds or
No Man's Sky price $60.
Right. Thank you. My memory is real bad. So the thing I still disagree with, did I say disagree or agree? Regardless, the public opinion of the $60 price tag before No Man's Sky was released was that people were like kind of angry and like didn't think it should have been $60. But that mostly came from the fact that it was an indie game. Like there's this strange there's this like it's not strange, there's like this what's the term, there's this idea that indie games, or like there was this idea, I'm not sure if it's still like the case anymore, but there was this idea that indie games should not be overly expensive because they're small developers. They're like indie games have always kind of been less
There's more risk.
like the idea behind it, at least in terms of public opinion, is like this came from a smaller development team and not a triple. It's not a AAA title, therefore it does not and shouldn't be $60 because $60 was or is. It's been the industry standard for a long time, but like it really shouldn't be the industry standard.
We're about to get $100 games next year.
I mean, if something isn't done, the industry standard is going to be $70 to $80 anyways, which is fucking unacceptable.
No, inflation happens.
No.
Yeah.
When you release an unfinished game for $60 at
Oh.
launch and then tell people to buy their broken ass DLC and then update it 5 years later.
No. That should be sued. That's a problem.
Yeah, there's the problem.
That is a problem.
It is a problem. The other problem is that it technically, like, I'm not
If you
even
ask
sure how
People to
would that.
buy the DLC, there's the actual game.
Oh yeah, stuff like that, where it's like they give you an
If you
unlock.
sell, like, if I sold you a game and I tell you, hey, it's not fully developed, and then I finish it, great. But if I sell you a game and then it's not finished, and then I sell you things that'll finish it, like, no. This is one of those capitalism things that I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Profit motive.
That's one of the reasons that I really like.
People should be allowed to pursue profits, but profit motive should not be why people do things.
I mean, yeah. If you're profit motivated, you're gonna end up like every single corporation currently, actually.
I mean, if you can sell manure, then you'd sell manure.
Yeah, but some people like doing that.
Yeah.
Also,
well, the people who like doing it should be sent to the gulag.
Why?
And also burned at the stake for being witches.
Okay, that's a little advanced, but whatever.
Yeah. But also,
anyways,
they're human, so that we shouldn't actually hurt them at all because they have human rights. Like not being burned at the stake is a human right.
It's a very specific human right. But being burned at the stake, being burned at the corner store, that's totally fine.
What about being roasted on Twitter? That's a human right. No one should be roasted on Twitter.
I mean,
if you roast someone on Twitter, we'll burn you at the stake.
Twitter just shouldn't exist. That's what it really is.
I mean, yeah, probably. It's not very helpful to society. Anyways,
Nope.
No.
Tangent aside, the thing I was talking about was the industry standard for $60 games. Anyways, yes, people didn't think it should have been $60 because that's the industry standard for like AAA titles, these big budget companies. And indie games shouldn't be that price because they're smaller and they shouldn't demand, they say, $60 for an indie game. And it's something I very much disagree with, because if the game is like $60 was the industry standard because somebody said that should be the case, and because they've been slowly trying to raise the industry standard over time anyways. Like $60 doesn't have to be the industry standard. It's just what somebody said, and that's what we've been living with. So an indie game being $60 doesn't mean, like, if you think something is worth $60, then you'll get what you wanted out of it. If No Man's Sky was truly did have an experience worth $60 in someone's eyes, then nobody would have a problem. And people shouldn't have a problem with it, because you should be allowed to, like, you can't put an objective price tag on value in regards to just be, a studio's size. if that was the case, then Disney movies should probably be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, to watch.
Mhm.
Oh wait, Aaron,
What?
we could have a thing where in order to live, you have to pay money, or else you get executed. People will pay all sorts of money to be able to live.
That's true. They would.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a
it's a
legal
great
business
money-making
practice.
scheme. What? Oh yeah, it's super illegal. We just need to make sure that it's not
Yeah.
illegal. We could vote on it. We could vote on making it legal to
Oh, because
hold
that
people
works.
for money.
Yeah.
Voting has always worked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can convince enough people.
Right.
I don't think you need to vote.
All right, then.
Okay.
I'm just going to steer us back onto topic very quickly.
That is a good idea.
So, yeah, host topics. You mentioned Hello Games.
Yeah.
You learned about them. And yes,
I did.
it had a very troubled history thanks to a lot of things that were slightly out of the control and very much slightly in their control, because something that I realized after the massive backlash against their existence was that it was very clear to me that the dev team were trying to do too much. Like, even within the
It's very
limited
much-
time span, they had too big of a scope, I think. Like, their scope was too big.
The my information all comes from Internet Historian, by the way.
All right, then.
That is exclusively where I have my information on this topic from.
Well, listen, I haven't looked this up per se. It's just for personal opinion based on my own.
Oh, yeah, you lived it. You were in the space. Yeah.
Based on it's my personal opinion based on the information and just the general perception of how it seems, because I am a.
Yeah.
Can you be a would-be game developer if you've never made anything?
You're a gamer.
I am a
Close
a
enough.
person who pretends to be a game developer.
If you put a
Should be
fedora
fair.
on, you could be a Reddit mod.
Well, I think would be is the right word because you physically can't right now, but if you could, you would be.
Sure, let's go with that. Anyways,
So you already
Aaron's
would
a game
be
every-
developer, isn't he?
okay.
We
The
should get.
general idea is that go for it.
No, nothing.
The general idea is that every dev eventually has to come to terms with their own ability, and the idea of feature creep or scope creep, or whatever you want to call it. This idea that you have all these ideas and you want to implement them, or just you want to throw things at the wall, or keep adding and adding and adding to your game because it's bigger, add more cool ideas, make the game bigger. Or you have this idea going in, I'm gonna make the biggest something, or I'm gonna make the best something. You have to, when you go in with those ideas or you succumb to feature creep, you ultimately lose sight of what you were trying to do, and also make your workload too much. You need to reel in the scope of your projects when you make them, especially for game devs, because I feel like maybe not every, but a good portion of newbie game devs or even long-term game devs suffer from this feature creep idea, whether it be because they're on a team and somebody came up with a good idea and they're too they don't want to deny that person's ideas, so they put it in the game, or it's a personal project, and because no one's moderating you except for yourself, you just I can keep doing this, it's fine. My project is well within its own scope, it's fine. So I do think that No Man's Sky very much did suffer from feature creep, or just things getting out of scope, because one of its major bragging points was the like randomly generated, or what was it? Was it randomly generated or procedurally generated?
Procedurally generated.
Yeah, the massive procedurally generated universe where it's like, oh, you can, like, there's over 1,000 bajillion million planets, and it's this whole
We had
solar
to
system.
recreate. We recreated the whole atomic system.
Yeah, it's like when you have that as a major selling point, I feel like it becomes clear that your scope is off. You know?
Light waves refract.
Yes. Anyways. Yes.
Yeah. Especially when you have a 5-man team.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely bad.
5-man team. You have 4 weeks. Wait, what? Deal with this.
Yeah, that sounds about right in regards to what happened to it. Anyways. Yeah, No Man's Sky. And also, I guess we'll count that as your host topic.
Sure.
Matthew said he didn't have one, right? Just say yes.
I don't have one.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. Jeez, man. All right. Anyways, I don't have a host topic. I don't have an excuse for this other than being the main host. Oh yeah, I totally skipped over me during the what we've been playing this month section, didn't I? Just realized I totally skipped over myself. It doesn't matter. I've been playing Smash Brothers, and that's literally it. I've been so freaking busy, man. Okay, maybe I haven't been as busy as I felt, but I feel like I've been very busy. It feels like there's not a lot of, it feels like I don't have a lot of time anymore. I don't know why. It just feels that way. Maybe I do, but it really does feel like I don't have a lot of time. Side note about the playing Smash Brothers thing. I may have broken something when I was playing an online match. Maybe I shouldn't admit to this fact, but I may or may not have, let's say, dented my wooden desk. Let's call it a dented desk. Dented.
And by dented, you mean?
Well, how do you dent wood is the real question here.
You dent it.
You hit it.
You
strike it with an axe.
I did not strike it with an axe. I struck it with my fist, like a manly man. And
why did you not strike it with a flaming axe?
And I've had a bruise, which you definitely cannot see, is on my wrist, I guess, for like the past couple days.
How dare you not strike it with a flaming axe?
I don't have a flaming axe. Also, I don't want to destroy my desk, even though I totally did. It's not destroyed. It's dented. Let's get that out of the way. It's a dented desk that is made of wood. Anyways, moving on.
But it must be Blaze.
Moving on. I dented a wooden desk. That's all I did. I didn't do anything too severe. It's dented.
Find Ven Portal that way.
Right. Okay. So yes, moving on to the news. We're just gonna have this will just be the holy crap, what the heck happened there? Anyways, this is the final segment, as it is usually the case. So yeah, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity gets its second wave of DLC expansion, and that's coming out, I think, when is that coming out? Yeah, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. You know this game, probably. It's that, you know what it is. It's Dynasty Warriors, but Legend of Zelda. And it's the second wave of DLC. It's coming out October 29th. So next month, 29th of October, next wave of DLC is coming out. It looks, I'm not sure what it's focusing on. I honestly haven't looked into Hyrule Warriors Calamity much, mostly because I don't have it, because money is an issue for me right now. But it looks like it's focusing adding more characters to the roster of playable ones. I don't know what it's focusing on story-wise, so that's all I have to say about it. Matthew's played it though. What do you have to say about it? Or either of you? I don't know.
I have barely played it. I keep thinking of getting back on it, but then I keep forgetting when I actually am able to.
All
So-
right, good to know. What about you, Devin? You haven't played.
Now, part of the reason, even when I do have time and think too, which I haven't in a while, like even considered that I have the game.
Mhm.
The fact of the matter is, each level, at least for me, takes a really long time because I've never played a game like it before, probably, or I'm just really bad at it.
All right,
It could be
then.
both. But it's a fine game.
Yeah, it's Dynasty Warriors. If you've played a Dynasty
I've
Warriors,
never
game,
played that one.
yeah, it's Dynasty Warriors. It's like every Dynasty Warriors game, fighting bajillions of mobs with one superpowered character. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So just to reiterate whatever I said. Yeah, that's happening. When you fail a sentence, you might as well just continue. Next up on the news docket or docket of news or whatever you want to call it is Nintendo. Okay, so Nintendo is coming out with a new online plan for the Switch. And in this new online plan, they are allowing you to play some N64 and Sega Genesis games on the Switch. So, I mean, I guess I'll say it's about time they did something like this, because all we've had access to thus far is NES and SNES titles, and not a very large variety anyways. Honestly, the benefits for paying for that monthly subscription are just not worth. Like, if I didn't play online a consecutive amount, I probably wouldn't pay for it at all, because it is so unworth it. It is incredibly not worth the money that you pay for what you get in the online pass. Anyways, but yeah, so now they're adding N64 and Sega Genesis games to the virtual console store, the virtual console, which is part of a separate plan, so it might be more expensive than the other plans that they have. Which, if it's, I mean, we don't know much about it. We just know that it's happening, and that
then they give you one game.
well, no, several titles are coming out at launch, and then they'll just continue to add more titles over the course of.
Nope, they lied.
But it really just
Totally.
like, it's just virtual. Like, you could just go online and do this. Like, it's not a hard thing to do. This is why it boggles my mind, because it's not hard. I get that like licensing agreements is whatever, but they don't even have their own their entire own library on there. Like, games that they physically have the rights to aren't even on there. Anyways.
Wow.
Like, it's just such a lackluster. It just really feels lackluster. They're also releasing wireless updated versions of the original controllers for the consoles that those games were on. So you can buy an N64 and Sega Genesis controller that are wireless, and you can play the games as they originally were intended to be played on a controller that has, if you've ever seen an N64 controller, I mean, it's an okay controller, but I don't know why you'd want to use it. It has 3 prongs, and you hold the middle prong for the joystick. It's a weird design, to say the least. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. Just a small rant about Nintendo's business practices, and I don't know. They just could give a lot more than they have, and it's really weird that they don't. Well, I don't know. Anyways, moving on, unless either of you have something to say, which you most likely don't.
No,
Is that a yes?
I don't have anything to say.
Okay, moving on then. So this is probably the most weird and interesting piece of news we have today. So have either of you heard anything about the Mario movie that has been sort of talked about for a long period of time?
You mean the one they talked about in the direct?
Yes. Did
I
you
saw
watch
someone's
it?
reaction to it.
Oh, okay. So yes, they
Hello.
revealed during the Nintendo Direct that we have a release date for the Mario movie that is coming out, being made by Illumination. Illumination. Why Illumination? I don't know. Nobody likes Illumination. I don't know why it's being made by them.
They're reliable.
Reliably mediocre and
Maybe
very terrible at times.
they're going mediocre movie.
Anyways, so yes, we finally have a release date, holiday 2022 for the movie. And we did not get a trailer for it, but we did get some of the cast members for the film. But before I name those off, because they are stupid.
Devin, you're listening, right?
What? They are stupid and ridiculous. I just want to say that this movie has been like in the works and vaguely, like, I feel like this is really the first bit of actual official news regarding it since its initial like leak, which was like 4, maybe 5 years ago. It feels like this thing has been in the works for a very long time for some reason, and I don't know why. I also don't know why we have not heard anything on it in all this time. And maybe we have, and I just haven't kept up to date. But I feel like this is the first real big actual official announcement of its existence that has come from anything. So, there's that. But also just, anyways. So they revealed some cast members of who is playing what characters. So I will quickly rattle them off because they are mediocre, I would say. So first off, we got Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario. So Chris Pratt, the guy who played Star-Lord, just a general, he's more of a live performer. He hasn't done a lot of voice recordings. So,
and I think of Mario when I think Chris Pratt.
I think of Pikachu when I think of Chris Pratt, because he also played Pikachu, I think. Or was that Pikachu? I don't remember. That might have been a different actor.
Ryan Reynolds has played Pikachu.
Yeah, it was Ryan Reynolds. It was a different actor. They're similar. Anyways. Yeah, so Chris Pratt is taking on the role of Mario. Apparently he's going to have a lot of speaking to do in the film.
Interesting.
I mean, I like Chris Pratt as an actor, I suppose, but I don't know why he's Mario.
I know, I'm wondering that too.
Next up in the voice cast is I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but Anaya this is hard to do. Anaya Taylor-Joy as Peach. I had never heard of this person before, though I'm not very good with names as far as actors go anyways. So I'm pretty sure she's another big name like actor. I probably just haven't seen her name in a lot of things. But yeah, as Peach, I don't know a lot about her career, so I don't know what she's going to bring to the table with Peach. They said something about Peach possibly being like boisterous in the movie, so I don't know what that means per se. Then we got Charlie Day as Luigi. This is another actor that I don't know off the top of my head, or I've probably seen him in things. He did look somewhat familiar, but I just don't know him off the top of my head. But like these are all somewhat large, like stage actors or stage, live action performers who have not done a lot of voiceover except for one guy. So Charlie Day is Luigi, and next, if you guys want to jump in and talk about what I'm talking about, go for it. Because man, talking by myself.
I'd rather listen.
All right then, Mr.
Partially because I can't
Man.
find the list of people and who's acting who, but still.
Yeah, so Charlie Day as Luigi. Next up, we have Jack Black as Bowser. This is an interesting choice.
I know.
This is a stupid choice. It's very stupid and very funny.
Uh-huh.
It's really dumb. So
I'm just assuming they're going for a comedy in this, right?
I mean, probably that's Illumination's general MO. I was gonna bag on Illumination after I said the cast, but Illumination's
Why?
general MO is to get a bunch of big name actors, shove them into their whatever animated production they have, and then fill it to the brim with as many pop culture terrible references as possible and a lot of terrible humor in general. Like, Illumination is not a very good studio. Let's be frank. The movies they're most like, they created the Minions, first of all. Everybody hates them. I feel like Despicable Me is really the only film that a lot of people would even consider liking from them. Like, they've made Despicable Me, they've made Minions, they've made Sing. You remember Sing? No?
They made
Anybody?
The Secret Life of Pets.
Right.
Sing,
Secret Life of
Despicable
Pets.
Me, the amazing Lorax movie.
Oh,
They
right.
animated
I
that.
forgot. They made.
Gem.
I mean, the animation in that film's really good. Man, is it terrible.
And Hop.
Oh, man, they did. Holy crap. I was unaware of that.
Hop?
Yeah, it's a film about the bunny rabbit it's a film about the Easter bunny not wanting to be the Easter bunny and a human becoming the Easter bunny.
It's very strange sounding.
It's real bad.
Wow.
It's real bad.
So basically,
Yeah.
Illumination has never made anything good other than that one movie.
Even then, like, I liked Despicable Me a lot when I originally saw it, but I was also a lot younger when I saw it.
Exactly.
It's an average
fine.
film at best.
Mhm.
So, like,
well, I would say it's an above average film at best.
there's a couple lowbrow jokes that kind of just
Yes,
are
but I'm saying
pointless
at
things.
best, if you just ignore that stuff, then at best it's an above average film. Not a great
But
film.
yeah, who
It's
else
never
was
going to be a
voicing
great
who?
film.
I
But it's
Or is
not,
that the
it's
whole
not at
cast list?
best an average film. Average films are not very good.
mean,
Unless you're talking about like an
guess.
average good film.
Sure, let's call it above average, whatever.
Have you ever heard of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters? That was a really bad movie.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Have you ever heard of Jack and the
know.
Beanstalk? That was a really bad movie.
Yes, I know.
Have you ever heard of Shrek? That was a really bad movie.
No, sort
Have you
of.
ever heard of Back to the Future? Ugh, what a terrible movie.
What is
At
that called?
most, it's average.
What is this? What is this film?
Have you ever heard of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? A really bad movie.
Basque to the Future? What is that? Future? Whatever.
Future.
What is this? This piece of media that has been presented before me. What is this? I don't know where I'm going, but
You're trying to imitate someone. I'm like, I don't recognize this.
I'm not trying to imitate anyone in particular. I'm just being overly dramatic, which is most of the internet, to be fair. Anyways, yeah, Illumination's MO is making below average to above average films that make way too much money. Way more money than they should.
Aaron, they're really good at making movies in the modern. So Marvel has recently realized that they don't actually have to make really good movies. They just have to make movies that are good to watch and that make you want to watch another movie. And so they don't have to actually be good. And in 10 years, they'll be looked at and be like terrible.
Is this in regards to Black Widow?
Well, yeah, but you can make movies. You can make movies that people enjoy watching, that are enjoyable to watch, that don't really stay with you, which means that you need a new movie.
Yeah.
To be watching. No, it's a great model because you'll just keep giving people movies that aren't that good that they will keep watching and then want to watch a new movie, and then you give them the not very good movie and they watch it. And it's easy to make too. You don't even have to put a lot of work in. You can make them easily every 2 years or 1 year.
Yeah.
Or multiple year. Wait, no.
It's the Disney effect.
You can make 5 or 6 Marvel movies a year, 5 or 6, well, maybe 1 or 2 Illumination movies every 2 years.
I don't know.
Illumination hasn't actually made that many
Illumination
movies,
has a different audience. What?
Illumination has garnered a very bad reputation in their very short existence.
Fortunately for them, most people don't know, apparently, about their reputation.
I mean, they make money.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The people who go and get theater tickets for their movies don't care. Because they want to watch
Much like how Disney shills out for nostalgia while destroying it at the same time. But that is a different topic that I will not get into because I could talk about that. We're literally
how the Disney executives sidelined the one black character in Star Wars.
I thought we were a gaming podcast.
One of the few black characters in Star Wars, the one who's going to be a main character, and they sidelined
gaming podcast.
Why is Matthew blurry? Also, what are you?
My camera faced up.
Finn, the character Finn.
Yeah, executives at Disney. It's a theory, but the theory is that executives at Disney, in order to appease the Chinese market, decided to give him a lesser role rather than a main character role.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, nor do I highly doubt that is inherently the case. Also,
they didn't want the main character.
I will say,
falling in love.
If I was gonna put on my conspiracy theory hat, I would say that film came out before Disney was all over China. Before they were openly all over China anyways.
Which one are we talking about?
Last Jedi
films, they all have such similar names. I think it's The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi did not come out before Disney was all over the Chinese market.
I feel like we're off topic, guys.
Okay.
I mean,
tell me how this relates to Mario.
They weren't at the point they are today.
I'm going to put an end to this really quickly so we can get back to the cast. It did and it didn't in regards to, because China was one of the fastest developing, countries.
Yeah.
Fast developing markets. They want to target that.
Smart.
But they didn't specifically do it with that film. It is and it isn't, because obviously they want to target them, but I highly doubt they did something like that beforehand. You know what I mean?
No, it's unlikely that studio executives pulled. Well, they probably pulled or suggested stuff, but they probably didn't force things.
I mean, just to give what was that? What was that film that came out about the dragon? The Last Dragon, something. The Last Dragon.
Raya the Last Dragon. Or
Raya the Last Dragon. That film was intentionally, made to be a cultural piece, even though it doesn't do anything. It's real bad. Anyways. Yes.
We'll make you a thing for your culture. Wait, you make crap. Yes. Oh no.
Yeah, Jack Black is Bowser, and that's exciting. Honestly, one of the only listings that like they cast one of the only cast choices that is like really dumb, but also
I want to see a
kind of
Scorpion King
amazing.
version of Jack Black in a
What?
Bowser CGI. I want to see a CGI version of Jack Black in a Scorpion King costume, Scorpion King style.
Why?
No. No.
Why
no.
would you want
Moving on from that, please. No. What's next, Aaron?
Yeah,
What's
no.
next?
I honestly think it's a really dumb choice and it's kind of ridiculous, but I kind of think it's almost perfect in a way because Bowser is kind of a Jack Black character archetype sometimes. Anyways, yeah, Keegan Michael Kay, who is a black comedian, will be playing Toad. I recognize his name, but I don't know much about him. Also, because he's also all Toads traditionally have spoken like, ah, Toad, this is Toad voice. Generally,
Peel, Key and Peele.
did I pronounce
That's
his name
exciting.
wrong?
No. So he's part of a comedy duo called Key and Peele that are
yeah. So he'll
well
be playing
known for being very
Toad.
funny.
He'll be playing Toad.
This could be a really good movie. This is like a lot of talent they're pulling in.
Yeah, I know, but they're big list name actors. That's most likely just to try and pull in the audience. That's the thing.
It
about
is Illumination.
It's Illumination.
It's Illumination's making it.
Yes, it's Illumination. That's
that.
why I went on a tangent about the midway through.
That's concern. Oh no, this is gonna be a poop movie.
Yes, it is.
Like the Emoji Movie.
I'm going to watch it.
I don't think you can get as bad as the Emoji Movie.
I'm going to go see this movie when it comes out. And I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it for the dumpster fire it is.
Just watch Free Guy. Free Guy was a good movie.
Because this is like the Sonic movie all over again. Except the Sonic movie was a trash fire because of the design of Sonic. And then they fixed his design and it was no longer a trash fire worthy of watching. It was just an average film.
I think that was
Hey, at least it wasn't horrible.
I think that was a marketing ploy.
Yeah, that was definitely a marketing ploy. That's why they spent an extra 6 months forcing the animators to fix the mistake.
Oh, okay.
It's a kind of strange marketing ploy.
Maybe.
To wait so long before releasing the redesign.
Yeah. Anyways, also, so even though Donkey Kong is not wholly a Mario character, he is going to be seen in the film. And you know what he's going to be played by? Can you take any guesses? Donkey Kong. He's a big ape that wears a red tie with his name, with his initials on it.
Dwayne Johnson.
Nope. Seth Rogen.
What?
Yep. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong for some reason that I do not understand. Like,
maybe Illumination is just doing the animation. And nothing else.
Whatever. Anyways, yeah, Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. I don't know why. Seth Rogen has a pretty good voice, but he's usually in a lot of terrible adult films, and I know especially some people that really just dislike him and his films in general. And also just as a general rule, I don't like that. His voice should not come out of Donkey Kong. Like, that is not a fit in my mind. Like, if I had to give Seth's voice to somebody, I would give it to like one of the what was the character I thought of? Like, he's not like a Donkey Kong. He's more like a like a Bowser kid or something else. Like, not Donkey Kong. Like, maybe that's what I get. He should be like Funky Kong, who is a character who is an actual DK character. His name is Funky Kong, and he's like this cool dude with a boombox, and he's like a stereotypical 90s parody.
That is an interesting voice to have as Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Additionally, Kevin Michael Richardson will be the voice of Kamek, who is a tiny Koopa guy with a wizard hat and casts magic.
Okay.
He is another name that I very much recognize and have definitely seen him in things, but this is why I should have looked these up beforehand. Anyways, people smarter than me will know these names. Also, Kamek, Fred Armisen will voice Cranky Kong, and Sebastian Maniscalco will voice Foreman Spike. I'm not sure if I pronounced that last name correctly. As on top of this, Charles Martinet, the guy who has basically been the voice of basically most of the Mario cast, actually, is also going to be in the film as cameo voices. So he's not playing any of the major characters. He's just going to be a cameo voice he's going to be voicing some characters as cameo. So just to say really quickly, Charles Martinet has been the voice of Mario since forever. He's always been the voice of Mario. He has also been the voice of Luigi and Waluigi and Wario. Pretty sure he also voices like some Toads and some other characters. He's been the voice of a lot of the Mario cast.
Interesting choice not using him.
It is weird that they don't use him, to be perfectly honest. Like, he is getting on in the years, but he would have perfectly been able to voice the cast, or like at least Mario. Like, come on. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Gosh darn, losing trains of thought. My train of thought ran right into an ice cream mountain. It was terrible. Random reference. Yes. Come on, bro. Oh, it was almost there. It was about the voice cast and castings in general. That's who it is. Okay, so the voice of Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong technically does have like voice lines, at least in some of his games and stuff. They aren't like actual lines, they're like just grunts and stuff because he's a big monkey, ape, whatever. It has always been it was there and now it's gone. Okay, so there's this guy who I can't remember the name of, who is like the composer for a lot of Rare games back in the day, and he's the composer of like freaking Banjo-Kazooie and all these very famous games he's the composer of, but he also did a lot of voice lines for the characters in those games, including Donkey Kong Country or Donkey Kong 64 and stuff like that. So he has been like the main voice of Donkey Kong. He did like the grunts and stuff. I really wish I could remember his name, because man, it was in my head and then it just escaped. Anyway, so the fact they didn't get him for that's the other thing. Why does Donkey Kong have a voice at all? Why is he gonna have voice lines? Anyways. Yeah. Or did I did say Fred Armisen will voice Cranky Kong, who, is another thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's the voice cast. We don't know anything else about the film outside of the release date and voice cast. We don't have a trailer for it or anything, but that's that. I mean, it's being made by Illumination, as I said before. So,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens. I'm not excited for the film especially. I'm excited to see what the results of the film will be. Because I will definitely watch it. Because I feel like I need to watch it. I need to watch just how terrible it might be, or how average it is. I don't know. But I I'm more excited for the aftermath of the film, because that's going to be a fun day when the internet just explodes with rage or hilarity. It's going to be fun to watch everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that is the last of the news, unless you want to keep talking about it or voice any opinions in regards to the matter.
Eh.
It's a movie. Okay.
I want the Minecraft movie to come out at some point. It's not
How
going
would you
to.
even make it? What would you make out of a Minecraft movie? You'd be like a stupid point and click adventure game that those guys did that I can't remember the name of.
What?
What was it called? Minecraft Story Mode, I think it was called.
Oh yeah.
It was a point and click story game. It would be like that. You have to invent random bullshit to exist within the world.
Well,
Minecraft is a base template.
We have an actual movie.
What would the movie be about?
No. I mean, there's an actual movie that Warner Bros. And Minecraft have partnered on and announced, and it's coming out next year.
When was
according
this?
to their launch date.
When was
It's been in
that?
production hell for so many years.
Well, yeah. How do you make what would the Minecraft movie be about? You just have to create a plot.
According to them, it says we have the story of it's the story of a teenage girl and her unlikely group of adventurers. After the malevolent Ender Dragon sets out on a path of destruction, they must save their beautiful, blocky overworld.
I feel like I do remember something about this, but also it could be fake.
No, it's on the official Minecraft website.
Okay. All right then.
It's an official news article.
I don't remember this at all. I feel like I should have heard about this. Why don't I remember it?
It's coming out in March 4th, 2022. Although probably got back a little bit.
You know what it's gonna be? I can already tell you what the plot's gonna be. I know that was like a plot synopsis, but that might not be it. But the generic Hollywood plot: people from the real world get sucked into the world of Minecraft. The most generic, everything Hollywood plot you could possibly do.
No, I want them to I want it to be a low scale, not ridiculous, not a blockbuster, something that people who are Minecraft fans can be happy about having a movie.
That's not going to make them money, though. Or maybe it will, but it's not going to make them all the money, which is what they want. They want all of the money.
Right, but I want a good movie.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but it feels it's doomed. It's freaking doomed, man. Video game movies have always been doomed, and they will forever be doomed because nobody cares. Like that Monster Hunter movie that came out like, what was it, 2 years ago, last year or something like that? Made by Paul Anderson, whose entire film career is basically putting his wife in things. Ah, frick. Did everything freeze?
What
happened?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I was saying?
Everything's charms. Daisies and roses.
What?
Internet.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yes. What was I saying? Yeah, so Monster Hunter film, that's bad. The Monster Hunter film is bad. It was made by Paul Anderson, whose film career is basically put his wife in things. Anyways, but yeah, that's the Mario movie. We don't even know what it's called. I guess it's just going to be called the Mario movie. I don't remember if we got a name for it at all. So I guess, look out for a trailer whenever it drops. I don't know. But yeah, so you're muted.
You're muted, Devin.
It was announced recently. it was announced recently, but there hasn't been a trailer yet.
No, we yesterday or the day before, it was officially announced by Nintendo that the Mario movie was coming out 2022 holiday season. So like December, I think.
Okay.
And we do not have a trailer or even a name. I mean, we might have a name. It might just be called the Super Mario Brothers film. But I
It's
doubt
called
it.
Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Is it? Or is that the other movie that's Super Mario
No,
Brothers the movie?
Super Mario Bros. Colon the movie, or I don't know, called colon.
Well, we'll see when the trailer drops, because I don't know if we actually have an official. Regardless, so yeah, we know some of the cast that I read off and who's making it, which is Illumination. So watch out for the absolute dumpster fire or the absolute pile of mediocrity that this film will be.
Yep.
Enjoy that. So that's the end of the news. And yeah, is that it? I mean, that's it. So yeah, that's the end of the news, which brings us quite nicely to the end of the show. So I have a, I guess, somewhat small or somewhat large, depending on how you look at it, announcement, but I will do that after we get through the shameless self-promotion segment, which is the part of the show where we shamelessly self-promote ourselves. So, Matthew, pretty sure you haven't uploaded anything since the last time we talked about this, but what have you uploaded? What are you planning on uploading? And what have you got for the people that care? And where can people
I
find
am
you?
working on things.
All right. Is that it? Did you not upload anything? What, like, do you have anything for people to check out?
I don't.
All right, then. What about you, Devion? Where can people find you? What do you have coming up, and what did you do?
Well, you can find me on Dev Mafu Gaming, where I'm about to start a show called The Rock.
All right.
And hopefully that does well. Yeah,
Why
it's
is
kind
it?
of like a let's play, but a little bit more crazier than that, and with a higher budget, so to speak.
All right, then.
I don't know if that makes sense.
More diamonds.
Not more diamonds, more production quality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also follow me on not Deli at Z. What's it called? Ragamuffin. You can follow me on the Upstart Ragamuffin. Yeah.
Changed that name so many times.
Yeah. And
Oh shit.
And yeah.
Yeah. Is that it?
I mean, I have a Magic the Gathering channel, which I don't remember. It's called Evan the Magic Nerd. And I have another channel called Blinged In that I can't log into.
Why do you keep creating new channels when you have a new idea?
Oh, these were a while ago.
I know,
Evan the Magic
but
Nerd's a good channel though.
all right then. Go find his channels. Enjoy the content that is on them, I guess.
And I just made a video, a massive 1 hour and 7 minute and 13-second video called A Message to Sydney Watson, which is a very thoughtful video, I think.
All right then. Well, enjoy that when it is in existence.
No, it's out. It's available.
Okay. You can go watch it now then.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's out. Go watch it.
Took like 50 hours.
Hey, it's better than 2 hours. There's more of them. That means it's better. Clearly. Yeah. All right. Moving on to me, I suppose. Twitter is whatever for you guys, and it is for me too. I don't use use Twitter at all. Just gonna put that out there. I also don't know how you like. Anyway, yes, me. What am I existing? I'm existing, all right. And let me tell you, this podcast will exist. No, but
Okay.
seriously, I want to be perfectly straight and honest with you. The last month, definitely not a great. I mean, it was an okay month. It was just a lot of busy with cats and other things on my mind that were just preventing me from looking at the gaming industry or care about what was happening. So just no podcasts for the couple people that care. And like, I just kind of slowly been thinking about what I actually want to do with this podcast and the channel in general after a while. But before I get into that too much, I will just say, obviously, this episode is going to come out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. As a recording, it will come out tomorrow, but that won't matter for you because you're witnessing it in real time. So what I said was pointless. All right. I'm great at this.
This episode that you are currently watching will come out tomorrow.
Yes. That was Jesus. Anyways,
you could
try to
like,
be serious for 5 seconds.
You should just say the videos get uploaded every Sunday.
Yes, the podcast is hopefully usually uploaded every Sunday, generally speaking. So
generally speaking, once a month.
Listen, I know the last episode, not last episode, but the last episode was like, we're back edition, we're gonna continue on, and then I immediately broke my promise.
It was the back edition after the previous back edition.
Yeah, I know. I am aware of that fact, but I will say this time I will be consistent.
Okay.
Uploads will happen. The podcast will take place. Period.
Okay.
I cannot words.
Yeah.
Why must I forget words? Anyways. So yes, the podcast will continue out after this point. Promise this time, and it's not me lying to your face like I did last time. I also just have some other general things in the works, which I guess I'll just get to now. You can find me on Twitter find the channel on Twitter at gaming, the discussion, and or at gaming the discuss one. I might need to change that so it's not so weird, but I don't know how you find things on Twitter. This is how much I don't know. Like, I don't know how you actually find my channel and the Twitter account on Twitter.
Using Google.
You look it up, obviously, but like, I don't know how it works. Like, I don't know how precise you have to be to find it. Like, do you have to put in the capital letters? Do you have to actually put in the @ instead of like the name of the Twitter? I don't know. That's a whole thing that I am very unfamiliar with because I never used Twitter. I will just in general, I haven't used that Twitter account in like over a month either for obvious reasons. I will just give general updates on Twitter, or at least try to, if like no episode's coming out or when an episode comes out. I'll post when an episode comes out. I'll post if an episode isn't coming out. Might give general updates about projects I'm working on, if they actually come to fruition or not, whatever. And the whole retweeting or tweeting about things that I care about, just, I don't care. I'm brutally honest. I do not care. Twitter is one of those things that I just have very little care for. So even though I follow several Twitter accounts that post about gaming news, I probably won't even look at them or retweet or post about anything that they do anything about. So that's just setting that on the table. Secondly, I get to my announcement before we get to the end of the show. So you may have noticed that I allowed some more tangential stuff to happen this time in regards to video gaming, because we talked a lot about Magic and D&D and other things that were not strictly related to video gaming, but they are related to gaming. So I want to start moving the podcast and channel into a more general gaming discussion instead of just video games, because I like video games a lot. They're like one of my main hobbies. Not everybody cares about that fact, especially my two hosts. And with Max gone, and the fact that I don't have a second person to bounce off of with video games specifically, and no, it's not just because Max is gone that I'm doing this. It's just something I thought about. So I want to move the channel and podcast into a more general gaming discussion, because it is gaming the discussion, not video gaming the discussion, or video game the game channel, or whatever you want to call it. So from here on out, going forward, just in general, the podcast will be talking more broad gaming strokes, like board games, Dungeons and Dragons, or like board games, tabletop, card games, just games, anything game, just whatever you want. Whatever you want to bring
makes
to the
it
table,
much easier for me.
whatever you want to bring to the table. If you have news that you want to talk about, or just anything games.
6th edition of Dungeons and Dragons was just announced by The Onion.
What? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that's.
It's going to feature 4 different sub-races of Sverfneblin as the main playable race.
Yeah. I see.
You have to use the word Sverfneblin.
Snerfneblin. I am a goblin. I am a Snerfneblin. Matthew, what do you think?
No, Sverfneblins aren't goblins. Sverfneblins are deep gnomes.
I'm a Snerfneblin.
Sverfneblin?
Snerfneblin.
Yeah.
I'm a Snerfneblin. I play a character at the end of the day.
Sverfneblin.
I'm pretty sure if your
Stop.
character actually talked like this, somebody
No.
would definitely die in real life.
Yeah, if you talked like that.
Matthew, I should definitely use that voice in your campaign,
No.
right?
Oh,
No.
really?
Yelling.
Really? You did?
I'm yelling.
Really? Are you sure about that?
These
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not, because I can.
Loxodon having that voice seems strange.
If I use that voice, I would barely be able to hold myself together. That is not a voice I can do for very long. So, getting back to the thing I was talking about.
Thank goodness.
General gaming. Just talking about general gaming in all of that regards. So, oh god damn it. Why do I lose my train of thought in the middle of my thought? Yes, the thing I said. Oh, that's the other thing. The trailers. I showed one trailer this time. So I'm also going to start phasing out the trailers to some degree. So I'll probably still show at least one trailer, or at least part of a trailer occasionally, if there's something that I want to show, something like that. And we'll still talk about video games, but that'll probably mostly come from me, So,
I mean, I might get into video games. Maybe I'll play some Man of the Sky, or wait, it's not called Man of the Sky.
Man of the Sky. It's called No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Maybe I'll play some of the No Man's Sky.
I want to play Man of the. What did you say? Man of the Sky.
Man of the Sky.
I want to play some Man of the Sky. That sounds rad as hell.
It does, actually.
I am the Man of Sky. I sit above all. It's just a game.
Anyway,
It's just a game about you flying through the sky and you sitting above all, and you have to like pick up, I don't know, sky points. This is the worst ending we've ever done. Yes. I've reiterated myself already at least twice, so I'm not going to do that. And yes, so yeah, that's the announcement, just in general. So less trailers, still going to be talking about video games, but it's not as much. It's probably mostly going to come from me. We're going to talk about more broad gaming topics. The channel might get a rebranding at some point if I think of a new thing that looks okay. And yeah, podcast will continue to come out every Sunday after this point. Hopefully. No promises, because if I promise, that means I have to do it.
True.
And it means you have to keep your schedule free every Sunday.
I mean,
Saturday.
I was already doing that.
True. That is true.
Yes. I already mentioned Twitter, so yeah, that's about it for shameless self-promotion, which was mostly dominated by an announcement. So yes, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the GTD podcast. I hope you enjoyed this about 3-hour ramble of nothing. I was hoping to keep this one shorter, but whatever. Yes. Yes. Do the things with the things that make you do the things with the things that do the things where you get to watch my content.
Yes.
You know what
do
I'm
that.
talking. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Yes. Anything else, or just bye or belated or whatever? You know how it works. Awkward goodbyes.
Farewell until the next Sunday for people watching. Next time we'll see you. Bye.
Yeah.
Elegance.
Okay.
next Sunday.
Say hello next time.
I mean, the other one isn't even saying bye.
He's playing Minecraft. It's fine.
I'm not playing
He is
Minecraft.
not playing
actually. I'm
Minecraft.
looking at an article.
He has one hand like this. He's not playing Minecraft.
What? You don't play
I'm
Minecraft?
playing Minecraft. One hand on the mouse. One
No,
hand also on the keyboard. Playing
you
mouse.
don't play Minecraft with one
but with-
hand?
Yeah, I'm doing Minecraft. I got one hand on the mouse. I can't do this. Wait, one finger on the mouse. Wait,
Yeah,
two
this is
fingers on the
definitely
mouse. Frick, I can't actually do it. But whatever. I have 2 fingers on the mouse and the other fingers.
Yeah,
Like
we
doing
get
a
it.
lot.
Yeah, no, that's impossible.
And I use the mouse to hit space
Like,
if I need to
if
jump.
you look, I'm pretty sure.
Matthew,
Hold on, I need to turn off.
no,
Sorry,
this
my
isn't
thing.
going to work. Oh my goodness. This is a cluster. This is a freaking cluster.
I can make it work. Trust me.
No,
That was hilarious.
I refuse to.
You see this?
Oh my goodness.
It does not work. You cannot play Minecraft.
Obviously, it doesn't work, Matthew. I was being sarcastic.
I know.
All right, let's get a goodbye so we can end this fucking Charles Foxtrot of a situation.
Goodbye.
Right, yeah.
Ooh, up a ghost.
Well, I guess I'm alone now. We're leaving the podcast. See you all next time.